Hello and welcome to another episode of Heaven Will Be Mirtazapine with me, Julia, playing Heaven Will Be Mine. We're gonna get through this mission if I can figure out which files. Day 2, that's the one. Loading. Daphnis, the tiny shepherd moon, so small it barely earns the name, tumbles through the Keller Gap, ruffling the rings of the planet it orbits. It houses the last official laboratory of Earth's decommissioned space program, training ground of failures like Saturn and special girls like Pluto. Saturn remembers it feeling cramped, anxious, and scary. No, wait, Pluto remembers it that way. Saturn remembers when it used to feel so special to be chosen, a candidate for the last generation of pilots. But didn't Pluto feel that way too? Sometimes two things are true. In this place, gravity is quietly degenerating, and distances are becoming ambiguous between past and present, between me and you. This is what I like. This is where I feel at home. The Daphnis lab seems smaller to Saturn now, though not as tiny as it feels to Pluto, and that's obvious. No longer people-sized, she tears through it like worms in an apple. But there's a much bigger worm here, and she doesn't know anymore if this was a good idea. Or what was a good idea? Saturn doesn't have any ideas. She's just trying to hide. So is this blue Pluto or is this blue Saturn? Because I want to try something with Saturn's voice, but I haven't prepped it in advance. She's just trying to hide, even though there's no place where you can not be felt by... I think this is Pluto. Even though there's no place where you cannot be felt by me? Alert. Tidal resonance. IFF confirms enemy. Warning. Gravitational hazard. Danger. Pressure exceeding safe range. I know. It's extremely exciting. Stop making me so nervous. Supermassive, small enough to hide in this complex, but with a dual reactor denser than the entire moon compressed into the head of a pin. An hour ago, and Saturn felt the gravitational pull of something so big and so close and so powerful. The interior of her cockpit creaked with pressure, and her head, heart, and eyes welled up with tears. Her head and heart also welled up with tears. That's, again, extremely relatable. Something that couldn't be anyone other than Pluto. Cool. She must be pretty big, huh? So why is she so hard to find? Saturn has no idea. Why do I have a feeling someone's laughing at me? No one is laughing at Saturn. The lab's been abandoned for years. But Pluto, wherever she is, giggles. Not in a mean way. She really does think it's cute. I haven't thought about Pluto in a long time. Oh man. It really would be funny if she was in that monster. Well, now someone is laughing at Saturn. Hey! Now I know someone's here. I can feel you listening. But I can hear you, too. And I can catch you. You're not the only one who can fuck with the narrative. Narrow escape or mutually assured destruction? Narrow escape here, right? I chose the loyal one earlier. I think this is betray celestial mechanics. Is favored. Narrow escape. Celestial mechanics advances. Opening futures, closing paths. It's easiest to not get caught if you don't care about catching anything. It's just about knowing there isn't a difference. And focusing deeper. And focusing deeper. There is celestial mechanics, the interactions of bodies in space via the forces of gravity. The weight of mass and culture. Explained by the story behind them. That's just science. With your own gravity, reach out and pull. Good girl. You know just what to do. Do you like what you caught? The Croon Macula towers over Saturn. Pluto's ship is so big it barely fits in the lab complex, but it's only a speck compared to how big it feels. Massive enough to warp local space-time, humming and vibrating with nebula dust, and absolutely effortlessly gentle. Without Pluto's most delicate touch, the Croon Macula would have destroyed Saturn and the whole complex without even trying. How much do you trust it? I knew you'd be right behind me. Or something. If you did, how come you're not facing this way? I'm an idiot, I guess. You've come a long way just to be an idiot. You must know exactly what the ship can do, right? Did you come to fight me on purpose? That's really brave and really cute. If you can touch me, I can touch you. So I'm not getting close. You came all this way, not even to fight? Oh, that's not cute at all. But it's smart. Hey, don't underestimate me. I'm scary. You think? Maybe I believe you. Cute things can also be scary. But I'm curious now. I was worried you were going to waste your chance, smug in your new machine, but you're pretty clever. You want to talk? Without fighting? If you're good. Otherwise, I'll bite. So, what did you want to talk about? As Cradle's Grace's glittering psychic death machine, you definitely have more important things to do than go out of your way to bully me for no reason. Right? Oh, that's right. That man and the fleet are escaping, aren't they? Hope you don't mind falling for this trap. Trap? You? Silly. I know you're more important than that. More than catching the rest of the Celestial Mechanics fleet? I knew this would be fun, and you knew it too. I am absolutely delighted about you doing that, just to be clear. I'm absolutely delighted about you doing that, just to be clear. So you don't have to read my mind to roast me about it. I can't read minds. You know that's not how it works. But I also don't need to know that. But I did want to know how the biggest overachiever in my juniors turned into such a bad girl. If you really remember me, you'd remember I wasn't ever good. I do remember you. Even if you're not that good at being bad, do you know what you're doing? With that machine that's so dangerous we don't even want to find out what it does? I think you answered your own question about why I'm keeping it. Are you going to stop me, then? But you don't want to. Hey, stop. Don't pry into me. If you're pitying me, I'll make you regret it. Not all of us come out perfect like you. Some of us get thrown out before they see any use at all. I won't pity you. I really would have torn this machine apart. But now that I'm here, gifted little mutant to gifted little mutant, I can't bear to. Because some of us just haven't been thrown out yet. Lab-grown girls like us should stick together. I might still make you regret it. Winning isn't my most important task. It's not yours either. Are you sure about that? You're not who I'm worried about. It's only your boss I can't forgive. I love hearing that. Tell me more. I'm getting a crush already. Regretting it now? Don't worry. There's nothing you can make me regret. Whose voice is this in? This is Memorial Foundation? Which ones are the Memorials Foundation? Is that Lunaterra? I don't remember Lunaterra's voice. I realized that Mars's voice is just Jenny's Spike voice, which is not like a thing that anyone cares about, but crude sketch and a clever pun. Anyways, ever since the day Mars began, Mars has been doomed. No, there will never be a planet Mars. That's a name reserved to places where human life, gravity, and culture reign. This is just bitter Aries. But like the stringy, inedible weeds that grow when nothing else does, Cradle's Graces is dug in and we can't get them out. The colonies are wrecked, the terraforming engines are broken, the gravity furnaces are out of control. There's no resources left on this planet, no strategic value. This planet doesn't even exist. It's an inert rock. There's no point in fighting. There's no need to fight. Ship selves can't keep you alive alone forever, and even if that was the case, we could leave tomorrow and claim victory. Most of the Memorial Foundation NSES fleet already did. That's why there's barely any of us left, and why we can't get them out. What? Why don't I go home too? And leave all those idiots to just fucking die on a rock? Who do you think we're doing this for? External communication said on August 31st, 1978 by Memorial Foundation troops. So I don't think this is any of the girls. Which is my justification for not having a voice that's solid for all of that. Nevertheless. Hey, it's not like we're idiots. We know we're doomed. This planet still doesn't fulfill the requirements for human life. And life is just the start anyway. Don't you know that gravity is something more important? You do understand celestial mechanics, right? Matter is made of tiny particles, but enough of it exerts gravity that stitches the universe together. Culture is made of tiny humans, and enough of it together can decide what's real and what isn't. It is really quite fucked up that this is how decisions about humans get made. Enough humans can decide anything, and then it'll be true, even about what's human and what's not. They don't even have to wait for the deadline. They've already decided that any human without their feet planted on the earth is in fact not a human. That's a pretty usual human thing for humans to do. No differences of any kind need to exist. We'll just be aliens, and then they'll send the real military after us, and we'll die. But if we just hold the line here for our princess to get through and make it to the moon, she'll open up the gravity well. And then we get to decide. Internal communication sent on January 25th, 1981 by Cradle's Grace's Irregulars. It's morning on Ares, though it's time in space. If we can get our capital ship launched and refueled, and the prototype retrofitted with the final equipment, we'll have everything in place. Keep out of the canyons of Mars, where Cradle's Graces and Memorial Foundation are bickering, hold the city ruins against invading troops, and make sure no one tries to set the oxygen ocean on fire while we refuel. It's a pretty thankless job. But me? I can't wait to see what happens. This is the most exciting space has ever been. Before we got here, this was a dead rock, but the best we could have ever hoped for was Earth in a different place. Who needs that? Far in the distance, the moon's gravity well shines. If no one controls it before the deadline is up, Earth will take drastic steps. Earth will take drastic steps to ensure that humanity is not divided. What they're afraid of happening, we will ensure that it happens. We'll finally have something alien in space, private communication sent on January 26, 1981 by Celestial Mechanics researchers. So I was under the impression that Celestial Mechanics was the Lunaterra group. But I'm thinking this isn't true. I'm thinking that Celestial Mechanics must be Saturn, and Saturn must be the one who's the let's see how much less than 100% human we can get, which makes Lunaterra the normie. I mean, we'll see. Maybe Memorial Foundation has something to say too. Or maybe I'm wrong. All missions on Cronus orbit completed. Maiden flight and testing of Croon Macula is done. Report received. Awaiting new directives. God, I love this. I love the red. I love the noise. I love being in this space. For as long as I can. I'm heading back to Ares, of course. It's the home of Cradle's Graces, after all. We have to finish up the last touches on Croon Macula and prepare for the last battle on Earth's moon. Celestial Mechanics will regroup and refuel there, and maybe we can nip them in the bud. A Memorial Foundation has been fighting us there since the conflict began, and maybe this time we can push them back. Send a message to everyone. Time to come home, so we can be ready for the journey. Ready for launch! Uh-oh. So this has Celestial Mechanics at 25%, Cradle's Graces at 12%, and Memorial Foundation at 0%. I get what Cradle's Graces is trying to do, and I do approve of it, but I'm interested in what Celestial Mechanics is doing. And I have to assume that Memorial Foundation must have something that they're meaning or saying or doing, because as is, I have no reason to support them, no reason to find them interesting, and maybe Lunaterra as a character can pull through that, but let's check our mail. White Void, from Dr. Nix. Origin Tidal Mechanics Research Archives. Here's going to be more theory. Are you ready? Let's go. The fearful power of it is evident, so much so that I hesitate to even criticize it. It is the nature of the tyrant theory that it is fed by all things, including attempts to dismantle it. It can simply assimilate those theories and absolve itself of potential guilt and rhetorical weakness by assuming new forms, because it has no inherent premise. It is not fungible, but the impulse to make all else part of it. Far from expanding to incorporate diverse and contradictory ideas into itself, the theory would remove alternate quantum states until finding a solution that would incorporate perfectly in line with the unified culture theory. This is a necessary and inherent step because in order to prevent any given feature of such a theoretical culture to be subject to eversion, the gravitational pull of the culture must be so great that no information about it can escape. As the theory accumulates culture through culture mass energy conversion, its gravity would steadily begin to grow and its energy decrease until it began to continuously collapse into a single coordinate and no distinguishing information would be able to escape. The interplay of variant states is necessary for culture to create and change, and this unified field culture would be unable to do so. It would only be able to assimilate and devour. Such a theory would not redefine hierarchy, but enshrine it forever. Far from a compassionate future for humanity, it would necessitate the complete removal of human variance. All humanity and all existence would revolve around a singularity of the unified field culture, the tyrant theory, a white void, a single conqueror thought at the center of the universe. And now, if this is what celestial mechanics is doing, then I understand saying no. And if this is what Cradle's Grace is doing, then I hope celestial mechanics has an ace in the hole. For lack of a better word. Mission select. We're not doing another mission today. We'll leave that for next time. I just want to read Deep Dive. The oxygen ocean serves as both fuel yard and terraforming engine for planet Ares. And it's the perfect hiding place for the migrating celestial mechanics fleet. But deep down, something's reaching up for them. Okay? After her maiden voyage, Cradle's Graces is testing the finishing touches on the terrifying Krun Macula prototype. It's a chance for Luna Terra to defeat their trump card, but will she close the rift between them instead? Or only widen it deeper? So this time we're going to do Deep Dive and then Rift in the Earth. But let's check out our comms first. Are you scared? Yeah, you? Yeah, but I'm excited too. I'm looking forward to what we could be. Hey, Pluto! How can you be sure? Sure about what? Sure about anything? Everything is so frustrating, pointless, doomed. No matter how hard I fight, it stays that way. So how can you be sure it's not going to be that way someday? You're the person I want to ask that. Because you fight every day like you're not thinking about these things. What's that supposed to mean? I've got to fight. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to. I've got to fight. That's what we have to. Interesting wording there. Of course I still think about those things, even when I'm fighting. Sorry, Mars. Of course you do. Everyone has doubts like that. Even me then, right? Well, it doesn't feel like you do. I mean, you make it seem like everything's gonna be alright. But you just do what you have to without even worrying about it. Without even worrying about whether it's right or not. Or if it will come to anything or not. You're a genius, you know? You're smarter than me. Also, the coffee maker process came back. Oh, does this just slowly rotate? Is that why sometimes I see coffee over there and I don't? That makes sense. I just never noticed it rotating before. You're a genius, you know? You're smarter than me. That's not true. I just have to stop thinking if I want to just do whatever it is that needs doing. I put myself on pause. Don't you? Maybe that's why I'm still so scared. Oh, we got to the end of a comms for the first time. Okay. Well, that's great timing then. Next time we'll hit up this pilot interfacing and check out one of the missions. I'm assuming each time one of the missions is against each side. That way, like, you're always missing a whole mission, and then, like, obviously each one has, like, a yes or no, or, like, a left hand, right hand. You know what I mean? It has a one side or the other advantage. But I don't know if that will continue to be the case, and I don't know if things are weighted. Look, it's a gravity map. Oh, look, the size matters, but, like, the gravity map is what I actually recognize. Do you see the swell of gravity? And you hardly can even notice it there. Huh. Okay. Well, I will see you all next time.